Hello and welcome back to the Argonian adventures. Last time we got a little bit of revenge on House Dress, took a bit of land which we've made our capital, and we have sworn fealty to our brother-in-law in order to prop up the Kingdom of Thorn. But before we get into what we're doing next, a couple of technical things just because they're relevant. In the previous episode there was a slight crackle if you turned the volume up quite high. Hopefully I've reduced that in this episode. There's always been a tiny little bit of fan noise, but it was definitely a lot more crackle than fan in the last one, so hopefully it's better in this episode. We'll find out at the end when the recording is finished. The second thing is that the game did crash when loading the save. The only reason I bring this up is because if the save becomes unloadable at some point, we may have to do a reverse or whatever. It loaded the second time though, which is, as I'm going to take it as a positive. So let's figure out what we want to do next. So we have our land. Everything is kind of stable right now. The thing I want to look at when the land is stable is what we're going to do with our succession, because that's always the question, right? When everything is stable, you're like, okay, I can advance, but what's going to happen if we die? Like, what's going to happen next? Who's going to take over? Who's going to manage things? What are we looking at? So, currently, we have Confederate partition, which is not ideal. We don't like Confederate partition at all. The reason we don't like Confederate partition is, under Confederate partition, your titles will be divided equally between your children. New titles may be created for younger realm heirs. Now, what does that mean in practice? Well, if we over here have a look at ourselves, we are a duke and we hold this duchy. This duchy holds these 4 bits of land. I mean, we don't currently hold that one, but like that's the de jure what's in this duchy. And that's what our heir is going to inherit. That's the primary title. Now, the thing is, we now hold a piece of land in a second duchy. So if we go and have a look here, we hold a bit of land in Stormhold. So if we wanted to take Stormhold, we would end up in a situation, even if we don't create the title of Stormhold, where the game could end up splitting our land in half, which would not be ideal. Now, I think we need to take 2 more in Stormhold, maybe more. Let me see. Actually, there's an easy way of doing this. If I do this, current holder of Stormhold is Serp. So I would need to have 3 or more, and actually this guy would have to not have the title anymore. So right now it's not a huge worry, but basically if we hold 3 or more and this guy doesn't have the title, it will automatically generate the duchy and give it away, which isn't ideal. We don't want that to happen. Now, what succession law can we go for? Well, the one that this guy has, partition. Partition is much better than Confederate partition because, well, it's exactly the same, except it doesn't have the create new titles bit. That would be great. We can't do that. Why can't we do that? You do not have limited crown authority. I am not feudal or clan. So, that's not going to be an option for us until we... I forget which one it was that was blocking us. Was that our religion that's blocking us? Yeah. So, we can't do that until we get rid of Ku Vaste, right? So, until we change our religion, we cannot switch to partition. That's a little bit of a problem. Obviously, that limits the amount of expansion that we can do, especially as we are now underneath this guy. So being underneath this guy means that we can have a max of a duchy, right? Because he is a king, we cannot have a king underneath a king. So because we can only have a max of a duchy, we pretty much have our limit of size based upon our succession law, right? On succession, we will lose a second duchy if we happen to hold it. So, that's a problem. Can we go high partition? No, because you need more stuff. How about rule by might? I don't know about this one. Hist does not have rule by might succession active. Okay, so that's again blocked by our faith. Primogeniture will be blocked by tech. I think all of these are going to be blocked by tech if we have a look at them. Yeah, I know that one's blocked by tech. Pirate share, we're not a pirate. Mystical birthright, we don't have a herocracy. And then Zarcian investiture. Yeah, I just kind of assumed that that didn't apply to us, right? So, none of those we can get due to tech or not having the right stuff. This one, we do have the wrong religion. This one, again, we don't have the... we need to be feudal or clan, and we don't have the tech. And in this one, we have the tech, but we need to be feudal, or we need to be feudal or clan, right? And have limited crown authority. But I think we could, yeah, we could probably switch to that for 251 prestige, so that's not really a problem. But anyway, that's our problem with succession. We basically can't do anything to fix it. Now, what we could do is we could limit the amount of heirs that we have. That would actually fix it if we limited the number of heirs that we had. If we had one heir, that one heir inherits everything. That's fantastic. We currently have 5, which means that if we have 5 pieces of land, it's going to be split between the 5 of them, except for the fact that this guy already holds 1 piece of land, so it's slightly different. We'd need to have 6 for it to be split between all of them equally, but we also have high fertility and a wife who's young enough to have more children. So, yeah. Anyway, all of that being said, there's not a lot we can do. Now, we are the dynasty head, right? We're the house head and the dynasty head, yeah? So, can I disinherit these guys? No, because I do not have 75 renown. So, I could, in theory, disinherit all of the children. That's an option. The negative to that is that it slows down us getting legacies by 10% of the cost of the next legacy, right, per child. So it's going to be 30% cost of the next legacy, like as payment for this, assuming that's all we want to do. Because this, actually, we'd also need to disinherit this guy, so that's 40% of the cost of the next legacy. It's a little bit of a problem right now. But also there's not a lot we can do about that until we fix our faith. So, anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about first. There's nothing we can do, but it's worth talking about. Next, we have a feud. We are trying to kill this guy. 3 years, we have people who can be invited. Is anyone cheap? 26 is pretty cheap. I gotta say, 26 is actually very cheap. You're pretty close. In fact, you're -7. Could we send you a gift? I would only get us 26 opinion. That's probably not enough. The reason why I was wondering whether sending a gift would work is because if we send him a gift, that would work for future people we want to kill, assuming that he's still in their court, which he would be, because this person, when he dies, it's going to be his heir who inherits, and we can kill the heir, and that person would still be in the court. So that would be more ideal, is raising his opinion of us to get him to join, because if we raise his opinion, then that's permanent, while a bribe is only for one thing. So I'm actually going to sway this guy. I'm going to talk to this guy, and I'm going to convince him that Councilman Savor is not long for this world. So, that's step number 1. Anyone else cheap? You're not very cheap. You're definitely not cheap. And I assume not cheap. Okay, so I'm going to sway this guy, and hopefully we can just convince him to join. We got 3 years to do it, so I'm quite happy to do that, and we can always bribe him if we need to at the end of it. Right. Thinks we should hold a grand tourney. I don't think we should have a grand tourney. I don't think that this is going to be something we need to do. Let's untick that. Also untick some of these for now, just because I don't really need any of these, because they all cost too much money. We could go to university. That's a little bit odd for our character, I'll be honest. But we could do that. We could do a Hist communion. What do we get from this? The Hist trees give us life, form, and purpose. Their roots run deep beneath the soil of our Black Marsh and connect them all, thus connecting all Sax-Lille. Characters of a Hist faith and Argonian heritage can choose to undertake an activity to go in a Hist communion to a Hist holding. Upon reaching their destination, characters will earn piety and may receive other rewards like powerful blessings depending on their faith's tenets. So, piety gain, legitimacy gain, which is actually useful because we are only at level 1 legitimacy, which does have some negatives. Definitely has some negatives, especially for new characters coming in, so that's something. Stress loss, we don't really have any stress. Chance of becoming an Argonian behemoth. This character has begun to transform into a behemoth, granting significant physical strength at the cost of some mental acuity. Interesting. And you may receive some special modifiers. It only costs 15. This is probably worth doing. How far away is it? Let's just have a look. Ah, so I have some places that are pretty close. Are these the only Hist places we can go to? Yeah, so Bog Mother. And then these two over here. An older tree promises greater rewards. Kind of interesting. It says an older tree promises greater rewards. So it makes me wonder whether there's some mechanic in the game for like how long a building has been there. So it seems to be suggesting that these are buildings. Is this a temple holding? Is that effectively what this is? It's a Hist holding. So you can make a Hist tree. Yeah, I assume if you're in the Black Marsh. Oh, that's kind of interesting. The first stage is the Zeech. So if I upgrade the tree... Histuka was what it was saying there. So actually, no, it's not how long it's been there. It's how much you've upgraded it. And you upgrade it with piety in years. Oh. This building has reached its final stage and will not grow further. So why won't this tree grow further? That's my question. What's going to stop it from growing further here? It doesn't really say. There must be a mechanic with this, but that's interesting. But I could also get other stuff here, because these are special buildings. Huh. Okay. Yeah, some interesting stuff going on. And the county gaining development growth is also interesting, because that applies to the whole lot, not just this one holding. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And it's a mostly piety thing. Yeah, I think we're going to go on a trip. I think that makes the most sense for us right now. We don't really have a way of attacking. We're mostly waiting on a claim, which is going to take a while. This doesn't cost too much to do. We're also waiting on killing this guy. We're waiting on swaying this guy. There's not really an awful lot else we can do. Also, while we're here, I just want to make sure that we have our brother and friend marked and our brother-in-law marked, just so we can check in with them every now and again and see how they're doing. Now, there was also a suggestion made in the comments that we get ourselves a court mage. The reason behind this was that apparently if we have a court mage, we can use the court mage to cast spells, and the spells that they cast could, in theory, get us more money than their salary. Now, this guy is terrible, but he has technically enough. I think it was if they have transmutation, they were saying. Something like that. So, restoration. That's destruction. Summon Atronach. No. Which one was it? There you go. It's transmute under alteration. So yeah, if we can get someone with transmute, then what we can do with that is we can use that to make gold, which then effectively means that they're paying for their own salary. Which is a good idea. Can we get a court mage? Well, might as well search, see if anyone's available. Yeah, that sounds fine. Also convert to local culture if we want to. What is the local culture, out of curiosity? It is Barsabic, which is an Aelid culture. No, I don't think we need to do that. I don't think that's something for us. Also, while in our culture, just because we were in cultures, how far away are we from being able to upgrade our... Also, we're not the cultural head, are we? No. How far away are we from being able to change our succession via this? I think it's probably the next tier. Royal prerogative? Nope. Might be the next tier. Divine right? Is this it? No, heraldry. There we go. That's high partition. Okay, so if we want high partition, we have to wait until this point. And then if you want primogeniture, you have to wait until this point, which is very far away. Also, I see the horse armor, which, yes, was obviously the start of something much, much more terrible than anyone could have known. Anyway, yeah, so basically, we're not going to be able to change our succession law via tech for a long time. Yeah, not unless we get a sudden burst of development somewhere, which seems very unlikely. Okay, cool. Hist Communion, Bog Mother. We don't have a caravan master, but to be honest, if we just take the right route, this isn't really even going to be dangerous, right? Because do we even have to go through this place? Customize route. So we go here. Yeah, yeah, so there shouldn't be a second... We're not going through there, are we? No. Yeah, that does change it there. So we're not even going through this route. Theory. Wait, chance of danger, 1 location. Is it really taking us through there? I think it is. I think it's taking us through that one. I guess I can test by doing this. Yeah, okay, so it is definitely taking us through that one there. Alright, on the way back, go back via there. Takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot safer. That seems better. So now we don't need a caravan master at all. Have we got anything in here we want to do? We can make haste. That makes it a little bit more dangerous. I don't really need to do that. Don't need to do this one either. Ideally, I do train knights or superior mounts, but we, yeah, we don't have those. Hire cultural ambassador. Don't think we need to do that either. Yeah, we don't really need medical equipment. I think this is all fine. You can hire an alteration mage. Huh. So would that alteration mage pay for themselves? Kind of interesting. We have a little bit of money. Let's see if this works. Then what do we want? A blessing? A reflection or a devotion? Let's get a blessing. Yeah, let's do that. Let's pay our 42 and go. So this person is now being recruited. So can I get you to cast spells? Yeah, I want you to cast... Are you not an alteration? You are. Why can you not? Because you do not have the journeyman alteration trait. You were casting a spell on them. Ah, no. You misunderstand. I want them to cast a spell on... Ah, no. I see. I see. So you would be you are now a court mage for us. I understand. I will appoint you for now. I can then instruct my court mage. To customize your magic, to focus on alteration. Okay. Yeah, and I cast only on my direct orders. And then to cast a spell on me. Yeah. Transmute. You do not have 60 magicka. So this would give me 20 IC. So that would pay for itself. However, you have to actually be able to get to that much arcana. No, sorry, magicka. Now, how do I know how much magicka you have? That's the question. Also, oh, they did fix this. I remember in the previous version of this game, every level cost the same. Which was very good for earning a lot of money. So you currently have 0 of 109. Okay. And do you gain 10? I think you gain 10 a month. Is that right? I think that's right. Let's see how this goes. Honestly, like, I'm not entirely sure, but let's see. Right. Speed 4. Let's go. Okay. We'll see how much they have at the end of the trip, actually. Okay, so... Obviously, now I have new court mages. You're not good enough because you don't have the thing I'm looking for. You do have the thing I'm looking for, but you are worse than the person that I just got. So, no, not interested. Right. So now we're here at the Hist Communion. Arriving at the sacred grove housing the Hist tree chosen for this communion, I'm greeted by the golden scent of the Hist sap in the air. The tree's wide branches cast deep shadows over the marsh, and its gnarled roots look as ancient as time itself. As I approach, the tree hums with a quiet, resonant power, its leaves whispering ancient truths known only to the most devout. My heart swells with reverence and anticipation, knowing that communing with the sacred tree will bring me closer to the very essence of my people. So, level 1 gets you piety activity reward, level 2 gets you more, level 3 gets you more, and level 4 gets you more. Alright, all seems pretty straightforward to me. Oh, agent joined scheme. That's nice. This guy just joined the scheme for free. That's wonderful. How much is he providing us in this scheme? Well, he's moved it up to 82, which is pretty good. Yeah, so that guy's giving us another 18. Ah, that's good. We haven't done anything so far, so I like that. Right. 50 days till it goes through. The Hist provides. The easiest way to receive a blessing from the Hist is by ingesting some of its sap. So I approached the peaceful seat of my native history, the bubbling swamp and the croaking of the frogs, creating a relaxing ambience around me. As I touch its bark, I can hear my own name resonating in my head, as if the Hist itself is speaking to me. Encouraged by this, I hold my bowl under one of the branches, ready to catch every drop of the sacred liquor it may grant me. So there's a chance it becomes massively more successful and I gain insightful crown, or don't be obtrusive. Yeah, I'll wait for a few drops of Hist sap. The Hist withholds my gift. Sorry, I noticed this one in the corner. He immediately left the scheme. Okay. I think that is something that the game does quite a lot. It's a standard bug in this game. Basically, what happens is every time you reload a save, it recalculates everything wrong on month 1, and then on month 2 it recalculates everything correctly. At least as far as I can tell, there's a lot of different things that you can see, like factions will randomly rise up and fall, or it'll say like this faction is super strong, and then the next month it's like, oh no, actually we got the size of your army wrong, the faction's weak again, right? It does this all the time. So this guy joining and then leaving is probably him going, oh, I hate this guy enough that I can join, and then next month it's like, oh, actually I don't. At least that's what I'm assuming that one is. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that in the game currently. Don't know why, but there is. Right, what's this? Negotiate alliance. My dear uncle, I eagerly propose to formalize the ties that already... Yeah, alright. Nephew. Or niece, actually. That is absolutely fine. She is Princess Hatchling. Yeah, no problem. Right. 23 days until it ends. Okay. Serendipitous espionage. It was not what Erassil was hoping to find by spying on secret conversations, but discovering the truth about Darva does not hurt. What have we discovered about Darva? Darva is incestuous. Oh. Okay. In this era of chaos and turmoil, my people are forced to adapt to new hardships. Since time immemorial, the Hist has been our stalwart ally, offering strength in our times of great need. As I kneel beneath the mighty branches of the ancient tree, I sense that now may be the moment to beseech for a special gift, the transformation into a behemoth, a creature of unparalleled strength. But I am aware that such a metamorphosis would come with a grave cost. It would exact a toll on my mind, stripping away layers of consciousness and reason, with the risk of reducing me to a primal, instinct-driven existence in the end. I'm willing to take this path. This sounds like a great way to get revenge upon somebody, is to accept a gift of power and to go mad with it. Yeah, I'm all in. Let's do it. The Hist rejects your wish. We are not worthy. Okay. Well, 5 days. And it is come to an end. Every Argonian is able to feel a connection to the Hist during their life, in one form or another, but to come as close to it as I did during this communion is a gift for which I am truly thankful. What I take home is more than a blessing or a healed injury. It's the knowledge that the Hist will always be there for us, and we for it. So we get a bunch of piety, and we get some legitimacy. But that is all we get from our trip. Well, and the Alteration Mage. Talking of the Alteration Mage, let's have a little look here. How are you looking? 0. Wonderful. Love the magic. Now, is that because she currently has a ritual? I think it could be because she has a ritual that has an upkeep, right? We don't have any rituals that can be cast on us, but she could have a ritual on herself, and I think that could cost her magicka. I'm not entirely sure. That's what I remembered previously when I was like, why are they never getting this? It's usually because they have a ritual going on. Anyway, that's fine. Right, let's head back then. We finished our trip. We've arrived back, and we get some stewardship lifestyle experience for visiting our capital. Which is kind of weird, but that's just the way it works. Okay, how are these two going? These two look fine. They look like they're absolutely fine. What's happening over here? Defending against the Cradle of Shadows in the Cradle of Shadows conquest of the Chiefdom of Seoul. So that would be the Cradle of Shadows. Baroness Sana of the Cradle of Shadows is here. Oh, so it's her attacking for Seoul. Okay, against this guy. Okay, so this guy's about to lose his land. I see. And who are you at war with? You're also attacking for the Chiefdom of Seoul. So actually, ideally, we'd love to join in with your war, but we are not allies, so we cannot do that. Okay, fair enough. Although you do have a child. Child is 26, but you have a child. Could we potentially get an alliance with you? And that would then allow us to join your war, although the war will be against the Cradle of Shadows. Or will the war be against House Dress? The war will probably be against House Dress, right? Because, yeah, she's going to take the land. The land will then be hers. They will then be declaring for the land, but it will go against the highest level liege, which will be House Dress. Yeah, we'll hold off, but if it's against her, I'm all in for helping. But I don't think it will be. I think it's going to be against House Dress, which it means that this is not going to end well. Okay, let's see. So that's ended. Your war is now invalidated. Okay, invalidated is the other option, but now you're defending against Shai's Creek. Okay, in a war for the county migration of the Leal of Atanaz. So you're a migratory one, so you've declared a migratory war? What does that mean? Does that mean when you win, you take the land? Yes, okay. And then a character who lives in the previous title will take that one. Huh, okay. Although this looks a little bit work in progress, as it says. Okay, interesting. You've also got a war declared upon you. You're defending in a war for the domain of Black Prison. Okay, interesting. So I would kind of like to help these guys out if I could. Although they are winning. But yeah, let's see if we can arrange a marriage. Have we got a... Which one of our children is... yeah, they're all daughters? They're all daughters. Oh, okay. Well, if any of them will accept this marriage, then that's fine. So I would like our daughter, hatchling Su Zalil, to marry you. You say no. I mean, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. It's not ideal for us either, actually, because if we were to get that marriage to happen, we would lose land eventually, but I thought I'd see if we could help. I was thinking the other thing we could do with our succession. So we could do this with our succession. If our powerful... Actually, we can do this if powerful vassals like us. Okay. Or this. Either one is good. Because if we do that, what will happen is it will change our succession. So instead of it being all 5 of these people, because these are all of our daughters, we could just exclude them from succession entirely. Then we got 2 who are actually our heirs. It's an option. Currently, the people don't like us enough for that option, but it's an option. Anyway, let's maybe do some speed 5. Let's advance some time a little bit here. Okay. It's become clear that your sap seeker is working to establish a false and spurious claim on the barony of the Cradle of Shadows. Don't think this kind of dishonorable action will go without response. So it cost me some prestige. She doesn't like me, but I also don't care whether she likes me or not. So, that's fine. Do I want to spend 81 on a claim? I don't really want to spend 81 on a claim, no. I think I say no, I cannot for now. And we see how this goes. Ah, another event. After the death of High King Logrolf, Skyrim was broken into 2 halves. The new hold supported the Western Pretender, while the old holds threw their support behind the daughter of the last High King. Now, after years of uneasy peace and Cold War, the 2 claimants of the old throne of Isgramor met and marked the end of this conflict. High King Ferengar and High Queen Freydis recognized each other as the High King of Western Skyrim and the High Queen of Eastern Skyrim respectively. Only time will tell if this peace will last, or if one side will try to one day claim the old High Kingdom for their own. A land divided, but at peace? So yes, all the land gets split. And should one half of Skyrim completely unite its region, it will be able to challenge the other half for the unity of the province, claiming the mantle of the High Kingdom of Skyrim. So, that is Skyrim now split in two. That was we did a campaign up here there last time we played Elder Kings. Actually, 2 times ago we played Elder Kings. And it's really fun to play up here with the separation between the two and all the different holds and the different objectives that you can get for trying to take it all so you can unify it all under one banner. It's a cool area to play in. Anyway, back down here. This is all fine for us now. One thing I'm wondering, this guy's my rival. Do we have something like challenge? We do have challenge rival to a fight. That's exactly what I was looking for. They'll accept. I'm a little worried that they'll accept. They'll accept because they're far better than me. Yeah, I hadn't considered that possibility that they would just be better than me at fighting. Yeah, we've got an aging penalty, and they do not have an aging penalty due to being lifespan 3. So they have an extra, well, 160 years life expectancy, so 136 is not old. Okay, well, we'll just not worry about that one there then. Just thought I'd have a look, see if there was an opportunity. There wasn't, but I thought I'd see. You know, something else to do while we wait for our plots and our plans. Children lack a guardian. Okay, so do we have anybody who has a trait? So the most important thing, and I have to explain this each time because there's a lot of misconceptions about education. By far the most important thing in educating your child is that they have a trait from a list of traits, which is like or like the person educating them has a trait from the list of traits like genius, quick, intelligent, shrewd. That's what matters by far the most in terms of education. We have none of those. Secondary to that, it is the main trait. It is the I think it's the main skill, and then secondary learning, right? That's what matters after that. The level of the education trait, I believe, does not matter from previously looking at this. It's purely this number and then this number. So, having said that, we have nobody who is good at educating in any capacity. So, what do you want to do? You want to do either learning or diplomacy. Yes, diplomacy is fine. So that's Hatchling Zu Sahil. Also got a name. Oh wait, no, that's our name. Oh, I am stupid. That's fine. Let's go with you. So our egg tender will educate you for now. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the paragraph. Yeah, so this doesn't matter. As a child's culture, neither has the codified magical studies, lunar mysteries, or schools of magic innovation, does not have the tradition unlocking magic education, and their dynasty does not have the thaumaturgic heritage dynasty legacy. Magic education is impossible. They don't have the right culture, and our dynasty doesn't have it. There is no magic. That's fine. It doesn't bother me. Now, you are a different culture. Naga is your culture. Okay. I think I'm happy with you just being my culture, so that's fine. Yeah, send proposal. It's not really a proposal. We decided. You are exactly the same person. Yeah, why don't you have a learning education just to split that in two? Right. You can educate them. Yep, that seems fine to me. Wonderful. Right, you still don't want the alliance? Nope. Okay, cool. How are you doing in terms of getting our control higher? Doing a great job. It's 6 years left. 7 months on this. I guess I'm just waiting until we have enough money to cover it. You're still helping out with the plot, which is still 3 years away. Still doing that. You're making independent people like us. Could get you to do internal stuff, but I think this is fine. This is fellow vassals like us. Yeah. Direct vassals like us or fellow vassals. I think fellow vassals liking us is fine. Yeah, I think this is all fine for us now. We could potentially switch from collect taxes onto increased development. Let me just see how much this costs. So that we're at 3.7, 3.8. So it costs us like the end of this, so like 0.1 maybe. But it might just be the difference between this rounding to a 7 or an 8. Okay, so we could in theory do that. We could also try and promote our culture or promote cultural acceptance, but we could try and make this our culture, which is probably worth doing. Yeah. I think that's probably worth doing, as the current culture is not one that we're going to keep. Yeah, let's try and do that. Oh, and you can choose a culture. Oh, I forgot that you can do this. Yes. The population of Stormhold still clings to their Bar-Sabic traditions and cultures. Their stubbornness makes them difficult to rule over, and it would be better to settle some of our own people there. Settlers from various settlements and cities are ready to start a new life in Stormhold, and most are merely waiting for our approval. So, basically, you can convert a piece of land to your own culture or any native or migratory culture of the same heritage or of high cultural acceptance. So, this effectively means that the way that you spread culture in this mod is slightly different. So you could still spread your culture everywhere if you want to, but if you're trying to spread your culture out of the native region, it's really slow, I believe. So, what you would do instead is you would try to raise cultural acceptance with a local culture. So say we weren't able to raise ours, we would raise acceptance maybe with Naga, and then that would allow us to convert the land to Naga, which is a culture which is better for us. It's still not our culture, but it's better in general, right? That's kind of what you would do here, but we can convert it to ours because I believe we're in the right region, so that seems fine to me. Native to these areas. So Southern Marshes is where? So that's Southern Marshes. Where else is it native to? On Cobra. Yeah, so it's in this area, and I assume the last bit is right here. So the Padomaic Marshes. So it's there. So actually in the center here, I'm looking at this right, in the center, that is, this bit right here is not in our region. So this would make it a lot slower to convert if we took that land. Okay, cool. However, this bit, definitely within our territory, so let's do it. Let's give the order. Right, it's still going to take 9 years, so that's fine. Right, unpause. Let it roll on a little bit more. So, hatchling's first words. Hurry, my liege, you have to hear this. The wet nurse, Mani Waza, rushes me into my the egg tender rushes me into my daughter's chambers. Manawaza points to the hatchling excitement, so I lean towards her and listen. While pressing a finger to her tiny lips, hatchling whispers to me, "Secret." Say, "How delightful." What else does she have to say, or I don't have time for this? I don't know. I kind of feel like just going, "How delightful." It's not really, yeah. There's not really any reason not to here. It's just a child. Like, we have many of them. We haven't even named them yet. Hey, this guy likes us a little bit more. How close are we to getting him in? So he's now only -1. So one more thing will actually get him to join automatically. Fantastic. I love to see that. Cool. The challenge. I'm sparring with one of my soldiers, sweat beading on my forehead, when I experience the uncanny sensation of being watched. Looking over my shoulder, I spot my court tutor, Mac Nias, who waves at me. I walk over to greet her. We talk about our weapon practice for a while, trading tricks and advice. Just as I'm about to leave for another round, Mac Nias' face lights up and she suggests that we practice together. And say, challenge accepted, or I would rather not. Apparently we're going to lose probably here, but we could win. It's not impossible for us to win, and if we win we get experience, and if we lose we get experience. I accept your challenge. The upper hand. The sounds of swords clashing and sword echoes in the between the courtyard walls. All eyes are on us. Everyone wants to see their Raj Kal fighting his court tutor. The crowd applauds as I lunge, and their admiration makes me bold. Instead of pulling back, I attempt a new technique I've been practicing. The movements flow through me and into my sword as if we were one. Macneus is defenseless before me. Then say, let's end it here, well fought, or I'll show her not to challenge me again. Now, are we the type to go, I'll show you not to challenge me again? Probably not. That probably mirrors how Stress's treatment of our people too much. I think we'd say well thought. I think if it wasn't an Argonian, however, we may choose that option. That's what I'm going to go with here. Cool. We've got a little bit more prestige. Nice. And we just finished our trading post, which means that this is now going to be making us a little bit more money. How much more? Another 0.4 per month. Modified by this. Okay, that's pretty good. That's a reasonable increase to our amount of money that we're making per month. We would increase control, but it's much more important to get that in Stormhold, which currently is making us the most, but is still only giving us 70% of, or sorry, 30% of the taxes currently. And if this is only 30%, then we got a lot more to come there, which is fantastic. Right. Unpause. Let's let time move on a little bit more here. Fabricate claim on a county. Now I'm feeling a lot better about this. Previously, I didn't really want to do it because we would have gone into debt. Now, 100%, I'll get that claim on the county. So we now have a claim on the Cradle of Shadows. Now the problem with this is that to press the claim, we have to declare a war upon House Dress. It's a little bit of a problem because, well, our allies are a little bit lower than they were before. We do still have a reasonable army. I just think that they might have a better army. I don't know though. Potentially we could do this. I think there is some potential for this to happen. And the thing is, even if we press our claims, there's not really any danger in us taking anything bad from this. If we press our claims and we don't manage to get that land, what happens? Well, we have to pay them something, but at the end of the day, Thorn is the top level realm, right? This is the top level realm, so they are going to have to fight Thorn to get any land. So unless Thorn itself loses troops, we're absolutely fine. We got protection. So we could, in theory, go for this. I would love that extra alliance, though, if we could get this. Your current level of alliances and your low legitimacy is a problem. How far away are we from the next level? We're close-ish. Yeah. If we got an event that raised our legitimacy, that would be nice. I don't know. We might wait a little bit before declaring the war. Okay. Hatchlings first in robing. My lord, no one can find your garment. I'm surrounded by incompetence, I mutter, storming from my bedchamber. It's in the nursery of my daughter, Hatchling, I discovered not only my raiments, but also the girl's wet nurse. Egg tender. I had no part in it, my liege. She dressed herself, Maniwaza responds with a giggle. So I'd say, the little scoundrel, she's a princess of fashion, or I don't have time for this. I think this one we do not have time for. I think we're ready to leave that one. So your neighbor, this guy, has lost against the Argonian down here. Fantastic. That seems good. You're an Argonian, right? Yeah. Just thought I'd double check. Cradle of Shadows is no longer an agent in your scheme to murder the Councilman Savor. Yeah, she probably doesn't like the fact that we're trying to take her land, does she? Yeah, that probably isn't ingratiating ourselves to her. Troubadour's dedication. There are often performers at court, but this time we were promised something special, and I certainly got it. As the troubadour starts yet another stanza, I walk out of the Great Hall in embarrassment. Each and every song is a dedication to me from Girmat. So, our war teacher has been trying to seduce me this whole time? Okay. The nerve. Well, Martial perk available. This might be a good point to go for this. We go strategist, yeah, and then maybe go for a war. Yeah, maybe now's the time to think about it. Although, wait a second. Oh, I thought there was a red border around them. I thought there was a red border meaning like I'm at war, but it's just a red border. Ah, okay. House dress. I think we can fight you. I think I'm ready for this. This be our claims. We've got equal side. We got, you know, equal troops on each side, basically. We got a little bit more, but they don't have to mess around with merging allies together. Is really near us. I think we can do this. I think this is possible. I'm going to declare my war. I'm then going to call in my allies here and my house member as well. Let's get both of them into this war. This seems fine. You didn't want to join in the first place. Right. Then we're going to raise some troops over here. We're going to do a little rally point over on this one. And raise all. Let's go. Shedding this mortal coil? What? I'm enjoying the duck at my feast when I suddenly feel my throat swell and my limbs growing slow. I can feel what is coming, but can do nothing to stop it. It is not long before my vision darkens and the distant shouts of laughter turn into horrified screams, slowly drifting away from me. I had so much more to live for. We're dead. Rajkal Brand-Shei of the Su-Zalil Atalil has crossed the door to the world of spirits at 45 years of age. He died under mysterious circumstances. Known to be an exceptional strategist, he spent many of his days examining fields and drilling his troops. Rajkal Bhimja ascends to the throne. Ever confident in himself, Bhimja's rule may bring glory or shame to House Zalil. Only time will tell. So, we were murdered, dreaded, distinguished, faithful. We had finished the strategist martial path, fought in 3 wars, 2 offensive, 1 defensive, and we hosted the Hist communion. We are now playing as Rajkal Bhimja, who is better at martial and a little bit better at intrigue. And that is it. We lost 2 titles on succession to our half-sisters, and that is the succession. We will continue as him. Okay. Sapseeker does not support us. Autonomous vassals is no longer valid and has been removed. What does that mean? Not entirely sure what that means for us here, but that's fine. Oh, wait a second. Councilman Savor was the one who murdered our father. Well, that is definitely not on. Yeah. Okay. Well, we need a completely new council. We've just declared war. The war is not invalidated by this happening. But our allies that we called in are not going to join. Ah. Well, at least I can call in our house member. And I can negotiate an alliance with my uncle. Wait, does that say my uncle? You're my half-brother. I said uncle, but it might have said half-brother. Okay. Oh no, I think it was this person who said uncle. That's where I got confused. Okay. Well, I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna unpause. Not really planning on doing anything. I'm just trying to wait until these alliances go through. Yeah. I lost my egg tender, presumably because we have no eggs. Councilman Savor became my rival. Yeah, that seems correct. Okay. So, we have our allies. They have both joined this, I think. Or are about to join this. One has joined. The other... Oh, the other one is my vassal, so he can't join. I see. Yeah, and then these ones are too far. I think our nieces are... Or yeah, these are now cousins, and they're too far away to have alliances with. Ah. We also have no children. We do have some half-sisters we could marry off. Yeah, I suspect that what we're going to do next time is we're going to spend a lot of time trying to scrounge some alliances. I suspect would be the best way of putting it. Yeah, also, I suspect this murder scheme is not allowed to continue. But we will see. We will see. I'm going to sway this guy anyway, because I can. Right. Yeah. What is this character? He's wrathful, arrogant, and brave. So, what was our father? Our father was wrathful, arbitrary, and impatient. So, we are wrathful, but we have a little bit, like, personal slights are a little bit more of a problem for us. We're also brave, which increases the likelihood of dying in battle, but if we're going to be role-playing it, also increases the likelihood that we're going to be at the front of the battle. And we lower the enemy defensive advantage. Okay, interesting. Well, that is certainly a point to end the episode. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.